Hey everyone, this video is for my Algebra Half students. We're going to be doing Lesson 80, which is called the multiplication of with scientific notation. I'm on page 224 and 225. Now, this is actually pretty simple to begin with. Those of you who don't remember what scientific notation is or that scared you, we're going to go back over that again in this video and try to explain that again. And this first example that I'm going to go over is not in your book, but this is a great way to illustrate how this works. We're going to multiply 200 times 30. So 200 times 30 will give me 6,000. 6 followed by 1, 2, 3 zeros. Now, if I put all of those numbers in scientific notation, we'll notice a little something. To put a number into scientific notation, we remember that we take the decimal and we move it as many places as we need to till it comes just to the right of the first digit. So 200 becomes 2 times 10 to the 2 power. I don't write it as 20 times 1. I could. That would equal this, have the same value, but it's just not scientific notation. So we have 20 times 10 squared. The 30, we're going to move our decimal over one place. It becomes 3 times 10 to the 1. The 6,000, we're going to move our decimal all the way from the right-hand side, 1, 2, 3 places. It becomes 6 times 10 cubed. Now I do this in order to point out something here. I know that 2 times 3 is 6. And if you look at the powers on top of the tens, we have 10 to the 2 power, 10 to the 1 power, and we get 10 to the 3 power. What we'll find is these powers get added. 2 plus 1 equals 3. I won't write up everything, but if we had 4 times 10 to the 7 times 2 times 10 to the, I'll just be crazy, to the 11, that would simply be 8 times 10 to the, and we add up the 7 and the 11, that makes 18. That's all you have to do. All right, so let's look at the examples they have in the book. On page 224, they show us a similar thing. They're multiplying 4 times 1,000 times 100, and they're using scientific notation. You can look at that also if you like. In example 81, they have 4 times 10 to the 5th times 10, 2 times 10 to the negative 2. Now that negative 2 looks at first like it's going to be problematic. It is not. I don't know what that power was. I think it was to the 5. 4 times 10 to the 5 and 2 times 10 to the negative 2. Yeah, now we already know what 4 times 2 is. I showed you there. So 4 times 2 is 8 times 10 to the, and all you have to do is add these powers. Up here we did 2 plus 1 to give us 3, 7 plus 11 to give us 8, but they do something a little different. They have 5 and they have negative 2. Well, all we do is 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. That is all there is to that problem. Do not try to combine the 4 with this 10, or the 2 with that 10, or don't go 10 times 10 is 100. When you have what are called bases with powers, the bases do not get combined, their powers get combined by adding. The second one says 3 times 10 to the 8 times 3 times 10 to the 3. I'll do it in red. 3 times 10 to the 8 times 3 times 10 to the 3, I think it said. Yes, it did. Okay. 3 times 3 is 9. 8 plus 3, 11. Do not write 9 times 11. I have seen students do that. You must have the 10 to the 11 power. In the last one, 80.3, it says 4 times 10 to the negative 6 times, is it 2? Times 10 to the 4. I'm messing up. This green marker is wearing out. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. Yes, you can have an answer with a negative power. Is that visible? Yes, you can see that. Now, this lesson doesn't cover it, but I want to show you one more and what to do. Let's say we have 5 times 3, oh here, 5 times 10 to the 4 times 3 times 10 to the 7. The 5 times 3 gives me 15. The 4 plus 7 gives me 11. There is your answer. 15 times 10 to the 11. But in these problems, they always want your answer to be in scientific notation. It's like when you add mixed numbers and you get an answer like 5 7/5. You've got to change that 7/5, and you're not allowed to have a mixed improper fraction. Well, this is not scientific notation. In order for that to be scientific notation, here is your decimal. It must move right there. So this becomes 1.5 times 10 to the 1, because we moved our decimal one place, times 10 to the 11. By the way, is that 1 positive or negative? We went from 15 to 1.5. Small, big, small. So that 1 is big. It's positive. So that gives me 1.5 times 10 to the, what's 1 plus 11? 12 power. And there you have it. That's all there is for this lesson. I have your homework written up here, and it will also be posted on the school's website. Thanks, guys. See you later.